Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and it's time for another price update, and this one isn't quite as shocking, like, hey, look what went 8 to 1, but it's actually mostly good news. I mean, like, for example, Hostage Taker, way down in price, so if you needed it for your deck, hey, good news. Not so much good news if you had 8 of them. I certainly won't miss the big swings, though. Oh, and unfortunately in this video, I'm running way short on editing time. I can't throw up every individual card image, but like 99% of you already know what these cards do. They're kind of high profile. But for once, let's just go by set. So let's start with Ixalan. A whole lot of nothing's going on. I mean, Vraska's Contempt is still $12. Pretty much everything else went down. Primal Amulet is up a little bit. Treasure Map is back up to almost $10 retail, depends where you buy it. A lot of these prices you might say, well, it's not that price where I shop. Yeah, they don't all just synchronize with each other automatically, especially with the older cards. This actually happened a while ago, but Star of Extinction, about $8.50. I found out that I did, in fact, still have my foil copy of it and sold it a couple weeks ago, so that's cool. Oh, by the way, though, Growing Rights of Itlamok down to $8. I think that was like $30 at one point. Moving on to Rivals of Ixalan, I mean, it's still absolutely dominated by Rekindling Phoenix. That card is insane. I still think it was a little bit much, but in the meta right now, I wouldn't say yes, immediate problem, ban it. But the fact that I don't think I've ever seen it below $20 really indicates the ridiculous power level of that card. The one absolute loony card that just went nuts quite a bit after the release of Guilds of Ravnica, actually, and has stayed pretty high since Ravnica Allegiance, is the Immortal Sun. I mean, that thing, it was pre-ordering around, I don't know, 12 to 15 from what I recall, and then it just tanked. It was, $6, $7 card. It was really hard to play. I mean, yeah, it's good, but it costs $6 and it doesn't, directly interact at a basic level with, a strategy. It just is good. And then Dominaria came out, okay, went back to popularity, kind of sunk a little bit, and then boom, shot up to $22, $23. It's fallen a little bit lately, maybe closer to $16, $17, but yeah, if you got one, good time to sell it, I guess. And another huge winner, and this happened, mid-January, I would say, maybe a little bit earlier. Elenda. I mean, she was the most powerful vampire in Standard. I don't think anybody could possibly argue with that. She's crazy. If you can keep her out for more than a couple turns, it's over. Okay, Twilight and Sanctum are okay too, but yeah, she shot up from, about $6 almost overnight in early January to $18. And she's still about $18. I mean, you can find her for $14, $15, depending upon where you look, but yeah, that's a lot of money. So if you've got one sitting around in an old school black-white vampires deck from way back in Ixalan times, dust off the old-timey vampires, you could sell this for some serious scratch right now. In fact, I had one in my binder. One little honorary mention, I mean, yeah, this literally went up when Dominaria release, but in case you missed it, because, I mean, Rivals was a while ago, Wayward Swordtooth, it was $5 pre-order and then just tanked. Nobody really did anything with it. And then, woo, right back up. And it's still been $5 for the last, couple months. My favorite price spike by far, though, is Angrath the Flame Chained. Pretty recently, right around Ravnica Allegiance spoiler time, honestly. That is when he shot up. Big surprise, duh. I mean, the color combination was Rakdos, which was released in the set. Not necessarily the deck he went in, but people finally appreciated him for what he does. So yeah, $20 card almost overnight when people saw it, and they're just like, yeah, this is good. It's fallen a little bit lately, but it's still $12.50 and up, so very good card. I'm glad I got my copies when I did. And by the way, people are still playing Explorer. Jade Light's still above $10. Damn. So moving on to Dominaria, I mean, big surprise, Teferi's still worth money, Karna's still worth money, History of Benalia is still worth money, Lyra's still worth money. Wow, shocker. I mean, honestly, nothing has really happened with Dominaria in the last forever, but Mox Amber is going up a little bit. It's hit about 13 from 8. Wow. Bunch of the lands are still worth money. Not much else is. Even Chain Whirler's $5. Moving on to Core Set 2019, though. Oh, that's where the action is. That obnoxious bitch Vivian Reed is still in the $20 to $30 range, depending upon where you're shopping. Usually you can go low 20s, but yeah, she shot up ever since the release of Guilds of Ravnica, and the funny thing is at one point she was $6. So yeah, it turns out drawing free cards and having 6 loyalty the second you drop it in and then use an ability is pretty good. Oh, and in a ramp color, too. Yeah, she's in at least 2 decks that I know of, and she's just the perfect card for them. So nothing really special with her. She doesn't really work with anything. She just happens to fit really well in those decks. Crucible of Worlds still about $12. That thing has just been dead and buried in flatline for the last couple months. I told you, you just don't print it at standard print volumes and maintain a $40 price. That's just not what happens. All of the Elder Dragons are still worthless trash, just like I said they were the first time. Everybody who said I was wrong, suck it. Oh, and FYI, Scape Shift still isn't even worth its own weight in potatoes. Alright, moving on to Guilds of Ravnica. Well, big shocker, Arclight Phoenix went up because it goes in this Is It Spell Spam bullshit deck. I mean, the card's just weak garbage, but you've seen the deck. I mean, it just keeps coming back over and over and over, which any card that keeps coming back over and over and over is like almost guaranteed to be a $10+ card. And this would sit between like 25 and 30. But more importantly, it's basically the only thing that Kevin from Rogue Deck Builders has ever been correct about ever in the history of his entire channel. Well, you know what they say, Kev, a broken clock is right twice a day. Actually, I believe his exact words were, I know it's a long shot, but I'm investing in them because you never know. So actually, he technically was wrong about that. It was a 100% sure thing because the Is It deck was already a deck. Well, I'm sure Kevin's crying all the way to the bank. Seriously, he made like $1,000 on that from what I heard, so good for him. Sansa's Trophy is actually down. A ton of the lands are up. Big surprise. Otherwise, not a lot of change. Like Doom Whisperer is still good. Divine Visitation, still good. A little bit more played than it was before, but still sub $10. But even absolute powerhouses like Niv Mizzet is only $6.50 retail, and Risk Factor is only $6. I mean, there is just not a lot of shocking value in Guilds of Ravnica. And finally, Ravnica Allegiance. No surprise, Hydroid Crisis is still crazy. I think I was pre-ordering at like 25 and has shot up to a little bit above 30, so I guess you could say it went up, but it just always was high. It is incredibly annoying, but I wouldn't quite call it ban-worthy. It's getting close, though. I feel like it should have been an ETB effect. It should not have been, you get this effect whether the spell gets countered or not. I think they went too far with that, but it takes so much mana to make it good. Well, and then Ritual kills it, and you can steal it with Entrancing Melody, which, damn, I missed that one. Jeez, this was almost the reason I was making the video. Let's rewind to Ixalan real quick. Entrancing Melody was a 50-cent card or less for an entire year, a little bit more than a year, actually, and it is now shot up to $5 out of nowhere. And it's not really out of nowhere. I mean, people are just copying tournament results and somebody was playing this. It's a very good defensive card. This and Metamorphic Alteration, that card's unbelievably good. I mean, what's better than removal? Oh, removal and you get it instead. The card is actually, like, shockingly good against Red Rush, too, so yeah, it makes sense. Anyway, back in Ravnica Allegiance land, I mean, Seraph of the Scales is up to 11. I think it was like 9. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, that's pretty much the winner out of the set. Prime Speaker is down the toilet. I think she was like 20-something pre-order price. Now she's like 11. That deck just never really came together. A couple of the more popular guilds lands are high. Big surprise. Breeding Pool, $14. Duh. So, I mean, honestly, only, 3 or 4 just shockingly crazy price spikes. And then everything else, not much changed. And I don't know if you've seen Arena lately, but yeah, not much really changed, and even the meta on the tournaments, which tends to match arenas somewhat well. Yeah, people just had a couple sets come out, and they're like, okay, let's keep playing the same thing we were before, because nothing cycled out. And it makes sense, because decks were pretty powerful right after rotation, and they've stayed that way. You gotta wonder what that does to card sales, too, because when that happened to Energy, because nothing could compete with Energy, all 4 sets that came out after it were just dead on arrival. They were just worthless. Nobody wanted them. The value was down the toilet. Nobody bought them. Nobody built anything from them. Like, for the most part, in general, as a whole, whatever. I didn't think, like, Ixalan and Rix would be the sets that would do that, and Dominaria isn't, like, a, legendary heavy archetype or anything right now. But a lot of things just mix sets together and just stuck. They just haven't gone anywhere. And honestly, Guilds of Ravnica was the big one, and then not a lot of people switched to the new guilds. They just kind of used those cards to supplement what they already had because Guilds was so damn strong. So what does that mean for the third Ravnica set, which if it goes with the Gate Crash pattern, which this is speculation, it may be a 10 guild supplemental set. That would probably once again suggest that not much is going to change. If they reinforce all the guilds' decks evenly, then nothing will change. The likelihood of that actually happening is low, but it's not like we're suddenly going to Theros and then, like, Devotion is back, where now it's like, okay, mono, which, I mean, right now, mono white, mono red, and mono blue are all powerful decks, like, top of the line. So you know what? Let's wait on Theros for a little bit. I'm with Bolus. Let's blow Ravnica up. They deserve it at this point. So that's the market summary. I mean, a couple shockers and a couple cards that, at least you might say, oh, wow, that's in my binder and I didn't know that's worth money again. But not a lot of shocking spikes, but I wanted to make the video anyway because, well, it's just the perfect time between set releases to start selling off some stuff or looking at old decks and, just whatever. A lot of people doing stuff with buy lists right now, so I just thought I'd remind everybody what's hot, what's not, what changed. Hopefully you guys made some money from watching this video. And other news update, they did find Lucky's car. It is 800 miles away, and that's an expensive tow. That'll be fun to try to get back, but at least they recovered it. My property damn well better still be in the trunk. It is literally worth more than the car. So mega ultra thanks to everybody who helped out for the fundraiser to help Lucky out. He did get like bus fare and, food and clothes and like all his crap he needed. And he's now somewhat far away because he's staying with like somebody else. But like, yeah, it helped him out a ton. So that's all the news, updates, and prices and everything for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.